To be frank, whatever Blood Boil said, I did have a choice. I always have. For example, I could have told him to go to hell. But I had a feeling that this business with Mr. Lupus might be oddly connected to what happened to Frank, and to what's happening at the Hive, for that matter. Or am I seeing things now? Either way, Lewis was an old friend of mine, and he always moved in pretty high places. I wanted to find out more about the wolf and the upcoming party, so this was the perfect chance to question him. I hoped I'd written his number down in my phone book. Like a strings. It's Marty. The lions. Let's see. Hey, Lewis, old buddy. It's Sonny.
Sonny? How can I help you?
I need that clever skull between your huge, fluffy ears.
I'm so sorry, but I'm in a hurry. I'm supposed to be at the premiere of a major motion picture.
Is that so, El Wolf?
Have you heard of it?
Have I heard of it? I'm the guest of honor. I mean, next to the king, of course.
Well, that's wonderful. So, can we go together?
Yeah, that'd be great. Look, just come by when you're ready and we'll go.
I'm jumping right away!
Thanks, buddy. That went smoothly. I suspected that he was invited to the party. He's never missed one. And if the king is also attending, Lewis will take any opportunity to restore his once illustrious family to its former glory. Besides, I was very much hoping that he might have some useful information about Lupus, the king, and the other guests in general. He might even have a clue as to who might want to harm the silent wolf. Lewis C. Hayworth, old friend. If it wasn't for him, I might be living in a homeless shelter. He helped me to find a place to live, and of course, get me clear of the booze. His heart is probably bigger than his ears. Thanks for jumping in already, Lewis.
Anytime for you, Sonny, anytime. Tell me, what's this about? And how did you get invited to the party? No offense, but...
Do I look out of place?
I just know you don't like these kind of fancy events.
You got that right. I didn't really have a choice. It's work-related.
Is Blood Boil expecting some trouble at the premiere?
He's not, but someone is. A certain Cassidy Lupus.
Oh, my God. The star of the loudest howl?
None other. But don't tell me you get weak at the knees when you hear his name.
Oh, come on. Not at all.
Thanks to the great wild ones. Seems like everyone's in love with this guy.
Well, he is, after all, the biggest movie star of our time.
Since we're going together, and since I know you're usually well-informed...
Well, my ears must be good.
Can you tell me a few things about the soiree? As much as possible. I want to be prepared for the culture shock of my life.
Sure, Sonny. Ask away. Well,
I'll get my thoughts together in a moment.
take your time, Sonny.
How are you these days, bunny ears? Even though we live in the same building, I hardly ever see you.
The Atlas Hotel is huge, Sonny. And lately, I've been spending a lot of time locked up in my suite. And when I have to go, I have to work abroad.
What kind of work?
You know, Sonny, ever since my parents' fortune ran out, I've had to work like regular people. But I'm not complaining. Business has been good lately.
If I didn't know you so well, I'd think you were avoiding the subject. So what kind of business is it exactly?
Oh, it's nothing really. Mostly real estate.
You haven't even renovated the Atlas yet.
What goes around comes around, Sonny.
I'm glad you're doing well. You've suffered a lot, and you deserve it.
Oh, come on. That's nothing compared to your everyday life, Mr. Star Detective.
You still think it's romantic after all these years, even in today's world?
If I had another life, I'd want to be a Clawville detective, too.
Damn your taste. Listen, pal, I don't want to be indiscreet, but...
Ah! You're asking about my eye.
Exactly. What's the deal with it?
I've been traveling a lot lately. I've been going to some dangerous places.
What do you mean?
You know the real estate business. Basically, I buy up abandoned buildings, like this one, the Atlas Hotel. Then I renovate it and sell it for a lot more money.
That's understandable. But your eye...
Well, yes. Sometimes I have to go to places that are too dangerous for a simple real estate agent. Have you ever been to the Taroko colonies?
Oh, they say pretty wild things about them.
It's beautiful. And the capital is a wonder to behold. But unfortunately, its jungles are still teeming with animals that are still quite wild.
You're not restoring an ancient pyramid, are you?
No, not at all. But let's just say, I'm too far from the safety of the capital.
You don't really want to talk about it in detail, do you?
If you don't mind, it's still fresh.
I understand. Listen, Lewis, have you seen a strange woman coming and going lately?
Are you dating, Sonny? Finally! Are you...
No, it's not that. A woman came to see me, in a black robe.
Oh, very mysterious.
She was. Only then she disappeared, just as mysteriously, like I was dreaming the whole thing.
I don't know. I didn't see anything like that. But like I said, most of the time I'm locked up in my suite, or I'm abroad. I rarely walk the halls of the Atlas anymore.
Well, thanks anyway, pal.
You're welcome, Sonny.
What do you know about Mr. Cassidy Lupus? Do you know him personally?
I wouldn't say that, but we've crossed paths. Our acquaintance is rather superficial.
Do you go to parties like this often?
More and more, thankfully. Ever since word got out that I've got some serious real estate in the colonies, I'm welcome back in high circles.
I'm glad for you. So what do you know about this buffoon?
Well, just a few things. He's quite a gambler, likes money and women. Not very good with either of them, though. His father was a serious con man who came out of nowhere and made himself quite a fortune.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Oh, but he's mostly harmless. Today, he's the star. Tomorrow, someone else will be. And I think he already feels the rope around his neck.
He must feel a rope because he hired me to protect him tonight.
Oh, is that what this is about? That's why they invited you to the party.
I wouldn't call it an invitation, more like an order. A stinky, dog-mouth-smelling order.
Well, it's understandable. Lupus is a great friend of the king. When he asks for a favor, it's only natural that Blood Boil would jump at the chance.
You know, my friend, I don't like the idea of us having to go to such lengths to curry favor with the crown. We used to be more independent.
No, you weren't, Sonny. You just weren't into politics.
I don't like it now either.
Life's not just laughter and rainbows, is it?
There are no rainbows in Clawville, Lewis. That's for sure. So the king will be present, right?
Oh, not only will he be present, the whole premiere will be in his honor.
How come?
For one thing, the king is a big fan of cinema. But there's another reason.
Which is?
The king's reputation is in tatters. Gangs are ransacking the city, and the crown and the police seem helpless.
Thanks.
Just the facts, Sonny. Elwooth is about the Founding War, when Clawville was torn apart by multiple powers, and the first true king of Clawville brought order.
So the situation today is symbolically tied to the Founding War.
Exactly. And he is the great king who brings order to chaos.
It's all political posturing.
What isn't these days? But I'd say it's more a kind of self-reflection. The people of the city have less and less sympathy for the king who lives in seclusion in his citadel. He needs to step out among the people.
Well, a fancy movie premiere isn't exactly a typical case of going out among the people.
True, but it's a start.
Kinda. Still, this isn't like our Hector.
You got that right. It's his new advisor's doing. She's pretty serious about image building.
The new advisor, huh? I thought I'd heard of her, but I'm not sure.
You live in a cave, Sonny? Everybody's heard of her.
I usually don't care about these things.
Until you get involved.
Well, I guess I'm a little involved now.
Don't worry, Sonny. The king is bread and butter. I know. I worked for him.
You worked for him? For the king? I missed that one.
Oh, you know, back in the old days, when I was young, the king could use my personal connections and my ability to blend in easily in any environment.
Yeah? Well, that's fascinating. Thanks, Lewis. So what about this new advisor?
She appeared out of nowhere after her predecessor mysteriously died.
Huh. And no one found that suspicious?
Well, the previous advisor was quite fond of life. They never found out what killed him exactly, but they found so many different substances in his system. It could have been anything.
I see. And that's when the new advisor came on the scene.
Partially. In fact, she'd been on good terms with the king for some time.
How so?
Have you heard of the new Unity Church?
Oh, their leaflets and posters are everywhere.
It's an organization that welcomes members of all other religions. They're a charity. They are working for a new, better world to come.
Yeah, at least that's the slogan.
Yeah, something like that.
So they twisted the king's head off with his bullshit.
Pretty much. But for now, he's only seen the upside. He's been showing up more and more in public. He's a generous benefactor. He advertises that he's fighting the gangs and the rest.
And you believe that?
Maybe I do. But that woman, there's something really weird about her. When you meet her in person, you'll understand.
Well, I can't wait.
Then, shall we go?
I think so. Take a deep breath.
Hey, Sonny, everything all right?
Yeah, just,
You don't really like crowds, do you?
What? How do you know that?
I used to be like that. You get used to it. Take deep, long breaths slowly. If that doesn't help, spot an object in the room and focus all your attention on it.
What is this hocus pocus?
Just take my word for it. It'll help you.
Okay, thanks, I guess. Now let's get going.
After you, Sonny.
have you finally found your lost love?
Don't be silly, Marty. I am not in a good mood.
Sonny's a little panicked about the party, but it's not that bad.
Hey, that's personal.
Was. Hi, Lewis.
Hey, Martin. Everything all right?
Sort of. I'm not sure where I'll sleep tonight, but, yeah.
I'm glad everyone's so happy today.
Looking normal, Sonny? I knew you weren't gonna dress up.
I'll do it at my funeral. But I see you didn't put in much effort either.
Well, how am I gonna look in a tux next to you, huh?
And Laura wasn't in the mood to iron your clothes, huh? Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to. It was a reflex.
As usual. But you're right, by the way.
You two haven't made up yet.
I wouldn't say that. It's a little more complicated, but I think I can stay. For a while.
Well, that's something, isn't it?
Yeah, well.
So, shall we go?
Yep, let's get going.
At least the reign of clothes.
So, shall we go?
What? Bad memories of standing around here, huh?
Haha, you're very funny.
This is so exciting. I can't believe I'm on patrol with the chicken police.
It's just a ride, Lewis. Don't overreact.
You know what? Don't listen to him. I like your enthusiasm.
Thanks, Martin.
Huh? What is it?
Nothing. So we were standing in front of this huge, shiny building. 3 out-of-place figures, full of doubts and questions. Meanwhile, the guests kept arriving, the cream of Clawville's high society. If I can say one thing, I certainly wasn't expecting this twist. But there was nothing to be done. I knew I had to swallow my distaste and survive the night, somehow. I couldn't wait to see Monica. I hoped she would keep her promise.
Well, I'm off to mingle. Thanks for the ride, guys.
Have fun, Lewis. We'll be right there.
Wow, he bunny hopped out of here fast.
He doesn't want to be seen with the likes of us. I can understand that. I wouldn't either. Hey, what's wrong with you?
Laura Stern? And Bauer Michaels? Aaron J. Hallenhall? And Ruby Ray Ramone?
Everything okay, Marty?
These are all the biggest stars, Sonny. Not just in Clawville, but in the whole world.
I thought you had a stroke.
Don't be an ass. I can't believe we're here.
Really? Is it that big of a deal?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Jeez. So, are we going in? Let's get this over with as quickly as possible.
I'm not gonna let you crush my enthusiasm with your negativosity.
Oh, really? Is that a new word? Where did you learn that?
Fuck you, Sonny.
This should have been scraped off before the premiere.
Blood Boil must have been pissed about it.
I'll say.
Do you really think they think that? I mean, the people of the city? After all the sacrifices we've made for them?
They're caught between 2 fires, Marty. You can't blame them. On one hand, they're being squeezed by increasingly feral criminal gangs. And on the other, well, there's the harsh police restrictions and temporary curfews.
They've done nothing. Still, they get the short end of the stick, huh?
That's right.
But still, really blaming us? We're literally dying for them. Just think of the Great Massacre.
They'll understand one day, when their grandchildren read about these times in history books.
Well, that's small comfort to those who get shot in the line of duty.
It is indeed. But it's also true the other way around.
You mean police brutality?
Kind of. Think about the ones who die from a stray bullet. instead of a gang member.
There's no such thing as black and white, huh?
I see you've grown up. No, Marty, and there never was. But don't let that put you off. In fact, when you realize that, it's quite a liberating feeling.
Really? Well, I don't feel free yet.
You'll get used to it. Can we still fix it?
Hey, is this guy everywhere?
If we jumped into the car and drove to the police station right now, he'd be there too.
You think so?
I'm sure of it.
Ugh, I've got chicken bumps.
Could he be Lupus's secret stalker?
Did you know that the Ivory Palace was the most famous cabaret in the wilderness before it was turned into a cinema?
What cabaret?
Well, you know, easy women, long thighs flying everywhere, skirts twirling, screams of pleasure, lots of booze and smoke and...
Okay, I get it. Don't get too excited.
So, yeah, this was the famous cat litter cabaret.
Wow. Well, it sounds, intriguing. Thanks for the history lesson, kid.
Anytime, Boss Bird.
Not a bad place.
This guy's more than the actual star, Sonny. This guy's a symbol.
He's quite depressing in person.
Well, yeah, I thought he'd be a bit of a stronger character, I admit, but it shows what magic cinema can do.
You're really into this stuff, aren't you?
This is the future, Sonny. In fact, I imagine there will be a time when we can be part of the movies ourselves, like players.
Really? That sounds, interesting.
You're just saying.
Yeah, I was just saying. I could imagine Marty to the great wild ones. It's been a long time since I felt so out of place.
Come on, Sonny. There'll be so many celebrities here you won't even be noticed.
I hope so.
Don't worry, boss. If anybody tries to talk to you, I'll jump in front of you like a meat shield.
Thanks, buddy. These animals have no idea what goes on behind the walls of their ivory towers.
Hello, boys.
Monica, what are you doing here?
There's someone here who needed me. So here I am.
Wow, really? So who's the lucky guy? Wait, what? No. You're not saying that you and him...
Oh, it's not a date, Marty. Sonny just asked me to be here tonight.
For backup.
Yeah, for backup.
Ah, I get it. Backup, of course.
Marty, please.
Can you feel that? Something in the air. What is it? Maybe love?
Shut up, Marty.
Hey, that's not your line. Psst.
Hey, thanks, Mon.
You're welcome, Boss Bird.
But really, thanks, sweetheart.
Anytime.
What are you guys whispering about? You're not talking behind my back, are you?
What? Oh, Marty, come on. Let's go say hi to some fancy-ass celebrities.
Oh, yeah. Long live the king.
This sculpture portrays our dear Hector as a little more valiant than he really is.
True, but still, aren't you excited to meet the king today?
Excited? No, I wouldn't use that word. I'm a little curious.
Is there anything in this world that makes your feet leave the ground?
I think there is, but she's already left the country.
Now there's 2 women I can think of.
Shut your beak, Marty. Hey, Mon. Thanks again.
For what? I was just escorting Blood Boil.
Yeah, right. You can't fool me. I ain't no stupid...
Okay. You're right.
What about Laura, Marty?
Well, I guess I can stay home for tonight.
Hey, well, that's something.
Yep, something.
Cheer up, you big bird. It'll all work out in the end.
Thanks, Mon. I hope so.
Thank you for being here, Mon. Sir,
So you came. I'm glad to see you.
we had no choice, sir, but I'm glad we're still able to surprise you.
Just keep a close eye on Mr. Lupus. His fears may be unjustified, but if they're not, and you're not around,
We'll be watching, sir. You have our word.
good. Now go and blend in.
As if it were so easy.
You'll find a way, chickens.
The old dog is right. If Well, Lewis, everything all right?
Couldn't be better, Sonny. They say the film is going to be a masterpiece, and the king is supposed to be arriving soon.
I can't wait.
Oh, don't be so cynical, Sonny. Being nice to the king can't be all bad.
You know, I don't think we're gonna find common ground, but, you never know, huh?
Now you're talking. Finally something positive from you, old friend.
Must be the champagne.
But we haven't had any yet. Really, where can I get a drink around here?
Haven't you learned anything from last time?
I don't want it for myself, but I'm sure it'll loosen you up a bit.
You don't want to see me drunk, Marty.
I'd like to see you both drunk. Okay, that sounded weird.
A little.
Just a teeny weeny bit.
Listen, Lewis, I always trusted you. Could you keep your eyes open for me?
Both of them.
Marty.
What? Oh, for heaven's sorry. I didn't mean to be so rude. Please turn a blind eye to that.
All right, Marty, that's enough.
But I'm not doing it on purpose.
Come on, it's nothing. And of course, you can count on me, Sonny. Are we on some kind of a secret mission?
Just keep an eye out in case you see or hear anything interesting. Okay?
You can count on me, big guy.
I was a real first-class jerk, right?
Correct.
Feathery gods, that's Charles Rufus Vidor.
They're saying some pretty awful things about him.
Every genius is a little loony, right?
Oh, he's more than a little loony. He's a real big-time predator.
He seems like a fun guy. He's so chubby.
Yeah, with poisonous spikes. This woman, she gives me goosebumps. I mean, chicken bumps.
Yeah, I can't believe she dumped us for Moses and Plato. What a cat. Still, that physique. Wow.
You know, Marty, I'm seriously impressed that you see the point in every situation.
Thanks, boss.
Sonny,
Mr. Featherland?
You're both right.
I've been looking forward to meeting the famous chicken police in the flesh.
You know who we are? You're Charles Rufus Vidor, the director of El Wolf and a myriad of other movie wonders.
Looking at his partner, I'm not surprised he knows who we are, Marty. Hello, Meredith.
Sonny, Martin. How surprising to see you here.
Well, it's a surprise to see you too, believe me. How are you? Looking for inspiration for a new book?
As a matter of fact, one of her books will soon be made into, one of my movies.
One of the Chicken Police stories?
No, not at all.
You know, at one time, I would have liked to have made a film about you chickens, but it wouldn't have been good for business. You understand, all those nasty rumors.
Nasty rumors?
They say all kinds of things, am I right? For instance, that you're the reason these horrible criminal gangs are flooding the city.
Oh, is that all? It's nothing.
And that you may have even planned the assassination of the head of the Westler Empire at the request of a rival gang. But I wouldn't bore you with such nonsense. Animals can be cruel, can't they?
That is an understatement.
Yeah? Well, that's a little more disturbing indeed, but, if you ever want to make a movie about the famous Chicken Police, we're ready for it.
Oh, no, young man, that ship has sailed. But I have heard of two other aspiring detectives.
Please. No. Not them.
Moses and Plato. That's their name. Well, I think it was.
Oh, that's it. It's over. Kill me, Sonny, please.
It's for the best, Marty. Filmmaking isn't a life insurance policy these days.
Well, what do you mean?
We're here for a reason, but the rest, unfortunately, is classified information.
I see. Interesting.
Our life is always like that. All excitement and danger. Now, if you'll excuse me. Tell me, did everything go well with the shooting of El Wolf?
Shoot never goes well, Mr. Featherland. And when the stars are so sensitive, like Mr. Lupus and Ms. Fay,
And?
scandal is almost inevitable.
Scandal?
Do you not read the papers?
Sonny? No, not really.
Look, I had a few run-ins with Mr. Lupus, that's all I can say. But like I said, they're pretty common on set. He's an egotistical actor. I'm a great director. And the two don't always go together.
Have you ever threatened him?
What?
Sonny, are you sure you're...
It's an innocent question. You can answer yes or no.
No, at least not in the sense of what you're insinuating, sir.
And what am I insinuating?
That I threatened to kill him. No, it never happened.
I see. Thank you. I got what I wanted from him. For now.
Sonny, my heart.
Oh my God, are you having a heart attack?
I'm gonna die here.
Damn it, Marty, take a deep breath.
Is that Cassandra Ruby Faye?
What?
I can't believe I get to see her in person.
You big, stupid, feathered bastard. I thought you were gonna die here.
Wow, me too for a second.
I swear I'll kill you myself.
If she talks to me, I'll die anyway.
You're such an asshole. This babe. I'm not gonna lie. It's like she's just stepped off the silver screen.
I still can't believe we're gonna protect Cassidy Lupus, the silent wolf himself.
He's just an animal, Marty.
Of course, I know I'm no spring chicken, but still, a living legend.
You know, buddy, I used to idolize legends myself.
Oh yeah? What happened?
Usually they either died miserably, or I got to see what they were really like.
And what were they like?
Just animals. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right. I think I understand.
Good.
Finally, you're here. I've been worried to death.
To death.
Oh, please, it's not funny.
It is a little.
Have you had a good look around? Have you questioned everyone?
Questioned? Why would we do that?
You might find out something.
This isn't how it works. We're here to observe, that's all. And we don't get paid overtime for that.
I told you, money's not a problem.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. We're here to look after you.
Stop being such a chicken, Cassidy. The chicken police are here.
You... Cassandra Ruby Faye.
To the best of my knowledge, I am.
And you know who we are?
Silly. Of course I do. Who wouldn't?
Hold me, Sonny. I think I'm gonna faint.
Hold still, you big oaf. Excuse me, ma'am. My partner's a bit of a bird brain.
You're funny.
Are we? Well, that's good to know.
Ignore Cassidy. The Premier is getting to him. It's like that before all his big movies.
Well, anything, try to enjoy the evening. We'll be here if you need anything.
Thank you, Detective. See, Paw Paw? You'll be all right in here.
Don't call me that in front of people. I've told you 1,000 times.
Is everything okay with the guests? Is there anyone who might disturb you?
But Mr. Featherline, what do you mean?
Land, feather land. Maybe someone you know but wish you didn't?
Please, not in front of Cassandra.
Ah, you must mean Mr. Vidor. Well, if so, you're absolutely right, Detective. The man is an animal. He's a monster. And after this film, I never want to work with him again.
Oh, yes, of course, darling. We're certainly not working with him anymore.
That's good to know. I'm glad you two are in sync. There are no secrets or anything.
It's rare these days.
Detectives, please, can we enjoy our evening?
Oh, yes, of course. Be my guest.
Sonny, you are evil.
You think so? Maybe, a little bit. But I was playing it soft. The wolf's reaction said a lot about the situation.
A wolf with a cat obsession. For the big wild ones, I never would have guessed.
Says the chicken who married a cougar.
Hey, you're being mean again.
Yeah, you're right. It's a habit. I'll leave him alone for now, but of course... Meredith H. Marble.
Sonny Featherland.
I am genuinely surprised to see you here.
I am always at events like these.
I bet. But running into you at Mr. Lupus's movie premiere, of all things...
What are you implying, Detective? Are you trying to play cat and mouse with me? I know your methods. I've written 10 books about you.
You only write about what you think you know.
I honestly do not know what you mean. Why shouldn't I be here, today of all days?
Tell me, how well do you know Mr. Lupus?
Oh, is that what this is about? I do not know what you know, or what you think you know. But my conscience is clear.
Is that so?
I hope you're not trying to make a scene.
Oh, no, I would never do that. I'm done for now.
I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Cassandra Ruby Faye. Nice to meet you all.
For the love of the wild ones, is it you? In the flesh? You're even more, you know.
I don't really know what you mean, but it's sweet of you.
You're beautiful.
Oh, my. Please, a little quieter.
Sorry. I mean, yes, I said it. You're a knockout, you know? I'm married, and I love her, but you, I mean, I love your movies, and...
Okay, Marty, take it easy. Everything's gonna be fine. Take a deep breath.
I'm really very honored and pleased to have made such an impression on you, but it's a bit awkward for me.
Sometimes I forget how excited he can get. Excuse us.
But he'll be all right, won't he?
Don't worry, lady. This isn't the first time he's got like this. Have you seen anything strange? Anything interesting happen?
Other than everyone being a braggart and me feeling like some village bumpkin who got lost in the royal court, nothing worth mentioning.
You're telling me. I feel like a lump of coal in a chest full of diamonds.
It's actually the other way around. You know, Sonny, not everything that glitters is gold.
Yeah, maybe.
An impressive entrance, if I ever saw one.
Indeed it is.
Who could that woman be? You don't think she's...
Yes, I do, Marty. She's the king's new advisor. And from the looks of her, probably a lot more than that.
Oh, hush my heart. Why is there always a heartbreaking femme fatale behind everything?
Maybe the world is testing you.
Yeah, maybe. But if Laura finds out what kind of environment I was in, she'll bite my head off. And I mean that.
Come on, Marty. Just take a deep breath and enjoy the evening. So, shall we talk to the king?
Well, you don't have to ask me twice.
Let's get to it. Your Majesty, dear lady.
If it isn't the world-famous chicken police, Sonny Featherland and McMurdoch?
McChicken. Milady, Marty McChicken.
Ah, yes, exactly. Marty McChicken, silly me. I've always been terrible with names.
Ah, don't worry about it. I keep forgetting it myself.
Are you investigating even now? If you ask me, with all the sinners here, the whole hall could be arrested right away.
Well, it's nice to finally meet you, ma'am. You know, we hear a lot about you.
I can imagine. All bad things?
Nothing else.
Hello, gentlemen. I've heard a lot about you, too. Indeed.
This is truly an honor, Your Majesty.
Come on, cut the chit-chat. It's so not like you. I've read a couple of your books, so I know exactly what kind of chaps you are.
Ah, those books again. Well, sir, if I may...
And what adventures! I really admire and envy you fellows. So don't play innocent with me. I know you're a pair of hard-boiled, rotten eggs.
Sir, with all due respect, those books are mostly fiction.
Ah, don't be so modest with me, Mr. Featherland. And you certainly don't need to pretend in front of such a spiritual leader. You see, she can see right into your soul.
You say, spiritual leader?
Hector always exaggerates. There's a small community of souls of which I am indeed the guide. It's called the New Unity Church.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
You know, you're much shorter in person than I thought you'd be, Mr. Featherland.
That's why I bring Marty with me everywhere, Your Majesty.
Oh, yes, the humor. I've heard legends about your, unique sense of humor.
Unique. That's a fine way of putting it.
But allow me to introduce formally how shall I say?
I am his advisor and spiritual guide.
You see? That's exactly it. She always helps me out when I'm in trouble.
Really? That's interesting.
It was nice meeting you, Miss...
Kayla.
Just Kayla?
Lady Kayla, to be more precise.
Ah, I see. Lady Kayla.
Now, if you'll excuse us, we need to go mingle. It's sort of a mandatory protocol.
Of course, we understand. Have a nice evening. We'll probably run into each other again.
Of that, I'm sure.
Did you notice...
Her legs? Who wouldn't?
No, not that, you dummy. That the king hardly dared speak beside her.
No wonder. I couldn't spit or swallow around her.
It's a bit strange, though. Hector was never the talkative type, but now she answers for him.
Isn't that a counselor's job?
Maybe. But I'm suspicious of this dame.
Of course you are. You can tell she's a demon a mile away, but that doesn't necessarily make him an evil conspirator.
That sentence was a bit contradictory.
Two roosters live in my body, constantly fighting with each other.
Listen, Marty.
Wow, why are you so serious now?
We're splitting up.
What do you mean we're splitting up?
In the heat of the party, Blood Boil won't even notice you're gone. If I disappear, he'll notice it right away.
Oh, I see. You mean Frank?
We have to find his body. To do that, we need to know where the factory is and how to get inside.
Okay, great plan.
Is it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I thought you didn't want to leave the fancy party.
Come on, Sonny. You know me better than that. Fancy parties are not. Frank was our friend. And this case is more important.
It is. You're right.
Thanks for trusting me, boss.
Who else am I going to trust?
Okay, I'm on my way. If I hurry, I can catch the midnight bus.
Boss, get the hell out of here. Take my car.
You're serious? I've never driven her before. She's your little rickety treasure.
Just keep her in one piece, okay?
And keep me in one piece, too, if possible.
Yeah, that's important, too. Now go.
Okay, Boss Bird. I'll come back for you, and I'll find out what I need to find out.
You do that, young fella.
Well, how'd he take it?
Surprisingly well. You know, you can say a lot of things about Marty, but you can always count on him in times of trouble.
A real partner, huh?
More than that.
And what about us?
What about us?
I mean, what's the next step? Here. Tonight?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're mostly trying to survive the night. There's one more thing I want to ask the king's new advisor, and it'd be nice if another woman were present. I suspect she'll speak to me in a very different tone.
I'm ready for her.
Ah, Monica Rosen. Are you two together? I couldn't predict this in my books. You know, you've always been a minor character.
Miss Marble. Really? Interesting. You've always been, rather minor, too.
Huh? Monica's just helping me with a few things.
Of course. And what can I help you with?
Mr. Lupus has been threatened by someone.
Really? Oh well, I'm not surprised.
And you have no idea what these threats were all about? A photograph.
Yes, and?
You have any idea what kind of picture it was?
No point in playing this game. It was a picture of me. Or rather, it was him and me. In a quite unambiguous position. But I didn't know what the picture would be used for.
You mean you knew they were taking a picture of you?
Of course, Birdie. Why else do you think I would have had an affair with that ripoff? The fur on the back of my neck stands up just thinking about it.
And somebody paid you. Who was it?
I have no idea. I never saw them. All instructions came in letters. And the money. A lot of money.
Damn letters. Did you see anything interesting in them?
Look, I'm a crime fiction writer. I know exactly what I'm supposed to notice. There is nothing you can use as a clue in your little investigation.
And how did you manage to reel Mr. Lupus in?
Ha! That wasn't hard. That tail-wagging dog is a sucker for all things feline. As soon as he sees a whisker or a fluffy tail, he loses his mind. I feel sorry for poor Faye, because she'll never get that out of her husband's head.
I see. Well, thank you, Meredith. You've been surprisingly helpful.
You're welcome, Detective. And Miss Rosen. Now, if you'll excuse me. Anything else, Mr. Featherland?
As you wish, Meredith.
Do what you do best.
You mean drink and grieve in a corner?
Oh, yes. You're...
And the lady, who is she? Yeah, a bit ordinary, gray, but she has color. Yes, she has. I could definitely see her on the screen.
Excuse me. Don't give me that look. I'm not a piece of furniture.
And she stings? Ouch! Even better.
Let's go, Sonny. This guy's just a simple bubblehead.
Maybe you're right, but this bubblehead can make you a very rich lady.
Yeah, no thanks. I've had the pleasure of dealing with your kind in the past.
Well, this ship has sailed, Mr. Vidor. Bon voyage.
I'm sorry. I hope I haven't offended the lady. You know, all these years in showbiz, and you inevitably see products everywhere instead of people.
You know, I'd even accept your apology, but you're still talking about me as if I'm not standing here in front of you.
Well, how about I try apologizing more? Let's say over dinner.
Until you're the one being served, we're not meeting at a table.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed.
What's this?
You two together? Where's Martin?
Just, powdering his beak, boss. And Monica and I were just talking.
You two aren't, how shall I put it? So you know that you...
No, it's nothing. We just, happened to bump into each other.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to be around familiar people. There are so many strangers here.
Really? Maybe. But you guys are a little suspicious to me.
What? We're suspicious? Oh, no.
Yeah, come on. That's ridiculous.
Oh.
Now it's just got worse. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
It has gone a bit too far. Hey, Lewis, you all right? You look a little lost.
Sure, Sonny. I'm more of an observer right now.
You haven't really settled back into these circles yet, have you?
No, not at all. But I'll be honest, I'm a little embarrassed if that woman is here.
Which woman?
That woman. Lady Kayla, of course. Around her, the king is quite different. She makes my ears itch.
That's never a good sign.
No, it's not.
Do you think she's leading the king astray?
It's a strange thing. I wouldn't say that. Like she's doing nothing but charity and helping animals in need. Yet there's an inexplicably sinister aura about her.
I feel it too.
Because you've always had good instincts, Sonny.
And because he thinks everyone in the world is suspicious.
Oh, I almost didn't notice you. Hello, dear Monica.
It's all right. I'm just an observer myself, Mr. Hayworth.
I see.
No more questions. The king, huh? After all, he's just an animal. I got what I wanted. Hey, Phil, what are you doing here?
Did you replace Marty? Too bad. Next to a pretty flower like that, you look even worse than before.
Oh, thanks for the compliment, Philip.
Just Philmar. I no longer use that dusty old name.
I understand. Old names are associated with old sins, am I right?
You know a lot more than all of us, Monica.
Thanks, Philmar.
Hey, can I get you some champagne? I'm feeling a bit redundant.
Oh, hello, Sonny.
You didn't answer my question. What are you doing here?
Me? Nothing, really. I worked for someone recently, a secret benefactor who threw me a ticket. Thought I'd check out what this big fuss is about, and it's kind of a letdown.
Your story is plausible.
Believe it or not.
You're not even trying anymore, are you?
We're old, Sonny. We've done this tango too many times.
All right. Enjoy the party, Nighthawk. See you later.
As long as there's champagne, I'll be here.
Just leave some for everyone else.
Fuck you, Sonny.
Just one more thing.
Tell me, my darling.
Don't you find it strange that we always end up in the same place?
I'm just always one step ahead, aren't I?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Simple coincidences, Sonny boy. It's a small town.
This town is gigantic, Phil. Just as gigantic as your stupidity.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with that.
And you evaded the subject again.
Oh, I'm such a professional, right?
Right. I have nothing to say to him at the moment.
Forgive me for rushing off so quickly last time. Now we have some privacy. But where's your partner?
Marty's got a bit of a weak stomach. He couldn't take all that syrupy chit-chat.
And who is this fine young lady?
Monica Rosen. Ma'am.
Ah, Monica Rosen. Mother hen on duty at the police station.
I beg your pardon?
Please don't take this the wrong way, but I have a personal acquaintance with Chief Inspector Bloodboil. He's told me a lot about you and nothing but good things.
I can imagine.
Monica's been helping me out while my partner's indisposed.
Oh, I quite understand. But please, I'm at your disposal. Ask me anything you want. I have a feeling that even though you're not here to work today, you have some rather interesting questions.
I always have, sweetheart.
Sonny, this woman makes my feathers stand on end.
Oh, come on. She's perfectly normal.
Did you hear the way she talked to me or to you? She looks down on everybody.
Don't judge, Mon. She may be gold on the inside.
Yeah. Then open your eyes and shake your head a little.
You think I'm gonna be charmed by a babe like her?
I don't know. Are you?
Never mind. Let's ask her while we still can.
Fine.
I know what I wanted to know.
Oh my goodness, aren't you
Shit.
Monica Rosen? I mean, Monica Rosen, the Velvet Queen?
The what?
Hello, Cassidy.
Wait a minute. You know each other?
That's an understatement, my friend.
Oh, no. Don't say you two are...
What? No, Sonny, what do you mean?
Well, you know, Monica was she was,
Yeah, you can say it out loud. I was your father's mistress a lifetime ago.
Come on, dear Monica, it wasn't that simple.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. And that's the end of the subject.
Yes. Yes, of course. I get it. I understand, of course.
Good.
So what is this, velvet thing?
The Velvet Queen? Oh, well, I think you better hang on, Mr. Featherworld, because...
All right, stop right there. Sonny, come on, I want to talk to you in private. Cassidy, I'm coming for you too.
Hey, okay, take it easy.
Sonny...
I'm a little dizzy, I admit.
I don't blame you. Look, Sonny, what you heard is true.
You used to be his father's lover?
Just for a little while. I was just a young girl who'd been thrown out of the country and into the big city. I was a waitress in all sorts of dives for a while, and then someone discovered me. And then I did a review show at the Coconut Cauldron.
The Velvet Queen.
That was my stage name. A lifetime ago. And Lupus's father was kind, charming, rich, and a scumbag con man.
I see.
It was just a fling. Lots of money, glitter, and glamour. Movie premieres, expensive hotels, and then... well, in the end, the guy ran off and took everything with him.
What do you mean?
Well, I didn't have much money, but you know me. I'm thorough and organized, and when I do something, I do it right. I had savings. Quite a lot of savings, and a small inheritance, too.
And he left you broke?
Yep. That's it. I had to start all over again. But I was just a little girl. I had my whole life ahead of me. So I went for it. I knew I'd never be a showgirl again.
Does this have anything to do with what happened at the range? That you were so upset?
The whole town is covered in El Wolf commercials. And Cassidy's face, of course. When I knew him, he was just a young pup. But he's grown up now, and he reminds me of his father a lot. Not a great memory.
I'll bet. You know, it's weird, but somehow I never thought about you having a life before the police.
Look, Sonny, if you'd rather go it alone from now on, I totally understand.
What? No, of course not, Mon. It's out of the question. I still appreciate you being here. I really do.
Thanks, Boss Bird. And I'm sorry to dump all the dark stains of my past on you.
Come on, Mon. I've been doing the same with you since the day we met.
Well, that's true.
But if Marty finds out...
I beg your pardon?
What? No, nothing. My beak is sealed.
Right. Let's, forget about all this and focus on what we're here for, okay?
Okay. I'll leave him alone for now, but of course I'll keep an eye on him. Kayla, or rather, Lady Kayla. She has an almost otherworldly superiority, with the king as her lapdog. It'd be easy to appeal to her vanity, but it could backfire. This woman is smart, very smart, and she's cunning too. Not just because she's a fox. So I'll have to be careful. I need to soften her up first, work on her ego, and when she's vulnerable, hit her with the hard questions. I may never get the chance to question an animal of her class again, so I better do this right. Are you here in a private or an official capacity?
You mean, am I the king's companion or his advisor?
You could put it that way.
Foggy phrasing, foggy answer. Both. And maybe neither.
I'm gonna be in trouble here.
I'm just kidding, Detective. And how about you? Are you here as a police officer or as a simple citizen?
As a simple citizen, I'd be snoring in an armchair with a half-empty bottle in my hand.
You can't be that cliched.
Unfortunately, I am.
Well then, ask me anything you like. In your official capacity.
How can I refuse that offer? Let's see. So how did you end up in cahoots with the king? Maybe you met at a party like this.
You know, these are difficult times. And it's difficult for Hector, too. I mean, for the king. When he came to me, he was almost in shreds.
He came to you?
About 2 years ago. My church was in its infancy, but I was already holding seminars and private audiences for those in need of spiritual guidance.
Would the king have needed such a thing?
Oh, yes. Very much so. Spiritual and emotional guidance and cleansing. As does the city. You see, the king is much more concerned about the fate of the city than many animals give him credit for.
I see. What kind of church are we talking about? Beyond what the slogans say.
The new Unity Church offers unity in a world where everything is about separation and hostility.
Which means...
You're a very objective animal. Am I right?
Let's just say I'm a bird who'll let pretty words roll right off him if they don't have any real meaning.
Our organization is here to help. Mental comfort, but also financial aid. We clothe, we shelter, we feed those in need. You see, in the Hive, we have already set up 4 homeless shelters and 2 orphanages.
Really? That sounds nice. But isn't the Hive dangerous for the poor and needy these days?
And that is why we operate there, Mr. Featherland. To ease tension.
But shouldn't those who are in danger be evacuated?
We don't believe in running away from trouble, Detective. We face it.
Ah, so you're warriors, too.
Only if it's necessary, Mr. Featherland.
What about the riots? Aren't they bad for business?
I see what you mean, but our church is not a business. We don't ask the poor for money. We give it to them.
You must get support from somewhere.
Exactly. From people who don't even notice those kind of sums.
Like the king.
Like the king.
How's your great healing crusade going?
Unfortunately, we're only treating the symptoms for now, Mr. Featherland. But that's changing.
What do you mean?
We're radically changing the way the animals of this city think. And we've started in the Hive.
Because the desperate are easily radicalized?
Because the desperate need help and guidance the most.
But they don't have much choice, do they?
The city doesn't have a choice, Mr. Featherland. Either let it be overrun by filth, or look to the glory of the past. Brace itself and confront the evil.
Confront? Well, you're just a charity, right? Or you mean the riots?
Violence is not always the answer to violence.
Not always. Is it sometimes?
You, Mr. Featherland, like twisting words beyond recognition, don't you?
Busted, baby. It's my favorite hobby. Have you always been religious?
You mean in my past? As a child?
Exactly.
I was born into a religious family, yes. Although I always found the Clawville common religion rather old-fashioned and shabby. I thought so as a child. I could see that it was not keeping up with the crazy changes in the world.
What are you driving at?
Our religion is a religion of extremes. Destruction and creation. I've always believed that these two extremes do exist and need each other. There is a real middle ground, paved with gold.
Hence the sheep and wolf on your posters. One body with two heads.
The lamb and the wolf living together in the same body is the perfect example of who we are. We are animals. We are savages. But if we recognize and accept ourselves and stop trying to be something we're not, we could become enlightened.
Everyone equal.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
This city was built on that dream, sweetheart. And as I see it, it's rapidly falling apart.
That's exactly why we're here. We want to change that.
How about the fact that one of the most dangerous and influential gangs has taken up residence in the Hive? Doesn't this harm your ambitions?
You mean the Golden Fang clan?
Their leader, Mick, is an old acquaintance. We took out his boss.
And you should be proud of what you've accomplished. Although your actions have set off an avalanche that's accelerated the process.
You think it's our fault the city's run by criminal gangs?
No, not at all. I simply said you accelerated it. A process that was going to happen eventually. For that, I am grateful. Thanks in part to you, the church is thriving. If it weren't for you, there wouldn't be so many desperate souls wanting redemption.
I don't know what to make of that.
Be proud of it. You're making your mark, Mr. Featherland. No one can doubt that.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of the clan?
Whilst the clan and the Great Web are busy fighting their petty battles, they're not bothering the common folk.
That's a dashingly optimistic statement.
Perhaps. Or maybe it's just practical.
Why do I get the feeling that you're not only King Hector's advisor, but something a little bit more?
Now you're turning tabloid journalist. But yes, as the press have been gossiping for a while now, Hector and I are closely connected, spiritually speaking.
Oh, that's quite an elegant way of putting it. So you're his mistress.
Perhaps one day I'll be his wife.
That would look pretty good on your resume. 2 years leader of a small church, then queen. Quite a career.
Tell me, Mr. Featherland, based on what we just talked about, do you think I'm such a simple, gold-digging harlot?
Simple? No, I wouldn't say that.
What is surprising about a man and a woman who've worked together closely for a long time, slowly starting to feel something for each other? You've never been in that situation? Or are you in it right now?
Get out of my head.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, are we done here?
I think we are. I think we're done here, although I admit I have more questions than answers.
But you said yourself, this isn't a real interrogation.
It isn't. Basically, we were just having a nice chat.
Whatever you say, Mr. Featherland. And I'm pleasantly surprised.
That's delightful.
Don't you feel the same way?
Oh, I don't judge so hastily, sweetheart. But it was a valuable conversation, that's for sure.
You seem so stiff on the outside. But I think, no, I feel that inside the opposite is true. You're very emotional and vulnerable.
Good to know. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Kayla, are you here in a private or an official?
You mean, am I the king's...
You know, you're exactly the kind of woman who fits in with the barons and kings.
I know you're just trying to flatter me, but I like it anyway. What can I say? I'm a vain woman. But you forgot to ask me your question.
Yes, I did. So, how did you get in touch with the king? How many fancy parties did you have to attend before you, accidentally bumped into him?
It was quite different, Mr. Featherland. You see, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Please don't take this the wrong way, sweetheart, but you're the type of woman around whom coincidences just don't happen.
You don't really believe in them, do you?
Let's just say coincidences don't fit into my line of work.
Believe it or not, my church was still very small when the king found out about it. At that time, I was still giving spiritual support to ordinary individuals.
Spiritual support, huh? And that's what the king needed?
Oh, yes. You have no idea what a burden the weight of the crown is. And I like to help where I can.
What kind of church are... Impeccable timing for the misery that's in the Hive.
I didn't even hear that question, Mr. Featherland. It suggests a rather narrow vision.
I'm sorry. I guess I got a little hard-boiled over the years. I've seen all kinds of organizations come and go, and always they end up the same.
Which is?
Their leaders either ran off with the money, or they went to jail.
I can assure you that in our case, there is no danger of either.
Yeah? We'll see. How's your great... Tell me, Sweet Paws, where are you from? I'm sorry, but I've never heard of you before.
My family is from Clawville, but they had to leave in my grandfather's time, so I wasn't born here. But my dream was always to come back.
And you did.
But I didn't find what I wanted here, Mr. Featherland. The dreams and promises this city was built on are nowhere to be found. Maybe only the old walls of the old streets remember.
And old cocks, like me.
Don't you feel we're getting further and further away from what the spirit of Clawville was?
Honestly, I don't think that spirit ever existed.
Whether it did or not, I'd like to make it real.
Your confidence is certainly commendable. You essentially live with the Hive gangs, and I'm supposed to believe you don't blow the same whistle?
We are where the greatest poverty and deprivation is. We knew that the Hive was in danger long before the gangs took power as a result of your actions.
Our actions? So this is the fault of the police?
I was more referring to the chicken police. If you hadn't dismantled the Wesler Empire, it wouldn't have exploded into 1,000 pieces, all of which are now in their power-hungry hands.
There's some truth to that. So you think we're the reason this town is where it is?
Mr. Featherland, you have accelerated a process that has 2 possible outcomes.
Which are?
1, Clawville and the whole idea it was built on will be destroyed without a trace. It will be consumed by flames.
Let me guess. The other is that you and your holy cult save everyone and lead us to a glorious future.
This is not a cult, Mr. Featherland.
I'm sorry. I meant to call it a scam.
I would urge you to back off, Detective. I'm not sure it's such a good idea to upset someone who has the king at her side.
Oh, I see. The fox is out of the bag. Good. Why do I get the feeling? I think we're done here.
You see...
It's just part of... You see? That's what I'm talking about. Kayla, are you here in a You know, you're What kind of Would you say you're... How's your grade? Have you always... How about the Why do I get... I think we're done here. You see? That's what I'm talking about.
This was fun. I mean that, honestly.
No offense, sweetheart, but you're not easy to figure out.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Mr. Featherland.
But I must ask you this. Do you really think the city needs to be reborn?
Absolutely. And rebirth must always come with sacrifice.
That sounds, kind of ominous.
There's little reason for optimism, is there? I think we should look forward and strive for a better future. But if we sit and wait, life will pass us by. We have to do something about it.
Yeah, well, we can agree on that.
Glad to hear it, Mr. Featherland.
Boss, you never told me you knew this, Lady Kayla.
Well, I only know her superficially, but my wife goes to a church.
Your wife joined the new Unity Church?
Join? No, not to my knowledge, but all are welcome there. I myself once attended.
Cluck me.
You just keep your beak out of everything, understand? Besides, aren't you supposed to be looking out for the wolf?
Wolf? Oh, yeah, I'm looking out for him. He's, somewhere in the crowd. Oh, I just saw him. Or was it him?
Sonny, behave.
Don't pull my tail, Santino, or I'll chew you to pieces.
Yes, sir.
Detective! And your lovely lady partner. How can I help you?
Well, Your Majesty, I just thought, as this is a special and hardly repeatable occasion for me, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, of course, I'd be delighted.
Unfortunately, Hector, I mean His Majesty, is extremely tired. Am I not right?
Oh, that's true, dear, but, I don't think it would be a problem if...
No, this is not the time. The inspector can make an appointment for an audience later. It's been a long night, and it's far from over.
Oh, right, yes, it is. Lady Kayla's right. Sorry, Detective Inspector, I'm extremely tired. Perhaps next time.
Well, if that's what you really want.
Yes, I think I do.
All right. Have a good evening, Your Majesty.
What was that?
Exactly what you think, Sweetbeak. She had him wrapped perfectly around her silky fingers and was rubbing it in our faces.
It was like a movie. Totally surreal.
Maybe that's the point. She's showing off her authority. She's showing us that she can do anything.
But why?
Because she's a predator to the core. She likes to toy with her prey.
I don't like where this is going, Sonny.
I don't either.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The much-anticipated film is about to begin.
It is sure to be an amazing experience. Am I right, Your Majesty?
What? Oh, yes, of course. Sounds wonderful. I can't wait to see it.
Finally. I thought it would never start.
Darling, you'll see this is well worth the wait.
See you after the film.
No way, Sonny. Marty's not here anyway, so I'll sit next to you. I promised I'd take care of you, didn't I?
Come on, you don't have to look after me. That's not why I...
Shh, shh, shh. I'm coming with you.
Okay. I hope you don't mind if I snore.
Oh, don't worry. I'll elbow you in the side.
Maybe later. I'm done for now.